If you never feel like you're winning, even when you're putting in the work, then it's probably because of this one massive mindset trap that is destroying your motivation without you even realizing it. And it's one of the easiest things to fix. Hi, my name is Mark Queppet. I'm head coach over at Frontline Man, and I've been helping guys for over a decade on how to optimize their habits and reach their goals without relying on white knuckle willpower. And the big issue that I see guys struggling with is that they do not celebrate their wins. Now, this sounds so simple, right? So almost mundane and just silly. It's like, what? You want me to celebrate my wins? Listen, let me break this down for you. This is probably the juiciest, most lucrative, low-hanging fruit in self-improvement that exists. Like, I can't tell you when guys start doing this how big of an impact it has. Okay, because here's the problem. Most guys do feel like it's actually kind of like wrong to celebrate their wins. They feel like there is a sort of sense of morality where it's like, if I do a good thing, well, I don't say anything about it. That's just what's to be expected. I'm just that kind of guy. I'm not going to pat myself on the back for doing a good job. That's just who I am. But then if they do something bad, they will beat themselves up. And so this traps them in kind of an insane cycle where they don't get to feel good if they do good things, but they certainly get to feel bad if they do bad things. Okay. And if you look at that formula, there's no place in here to feel good. And so this is a recipe for burnout, shame, and stagnation. And why this is so such an issue is because of the way our brain works. All right. Our brain, it requires a clear reward signal to crave progress. All right, that's the way the habit loop works. There needs to be a reward component where you get a little spike of dopamine. And if you don't get that, well, then the habit's never built. And so what happens is when you never celebrate your wins, there's no dopamine reinforcement loop. And what ends up happening is that you don't want to do your work because your brain says there's no pleasure coming to me, even if I do a good job. All right. And in fact, you kind of do the opposite, where if you beat yourself up for any imperfection, then you're making it so that you're training your brain to think that progress is pain. Right. And if your brain thinks that progress equals pain, guess how much it's going to want to make progress? Like none, like at all. Right. So the real key here, like if you want to make a big shift in your performance, it's like learning how to train yourself to feel success when it happens. You become unstoppable when your system wants progress, when it craves progress because it feels good. This is one of the core things that we've actually built into our Frontline Man program. We start every call with wins. We have, special wins finding processes built into everything so that you're constantly feeling this reinforcement. You're constantly able to see all the good things that you're getting done. And, it's really amazing. Like, I can't tell you the number of times I've felt like at the end of a day, it's like, man, that was a crappy day. But as part of my process, I record my wins for the day and I'm like, oh, actually, today was awesome. I feel good now. It's like going from feeling crappy to feeling good. If that feeling crappy keeps happening at the end of each day, eventually the motivation is going to run dry. I'm going to start feeling burnt out, overwhelmed, unhappy, etc. But when I realize, oh crap, look at all these wins that I'm stacking up here, it keeps me in the game. It keeps me excited. Now, some guys, they have kind of like a issue with this where it's this feeling of like, oh, well, isn't it arrogant to pat yourself on the back for doing what's expected? And I don't know, I would counter that with like, isn't it arrogant to expect yourself to be able to continuously show up and do good work without encouragement, without any sort of reward? Now you might be thinking, well, isn't the reward the progress itself? It's like, well, maybe. Because, but a lot of cases not, especially when you're working on long-term goals. Like, you might be putting in a lot of effort and you might not see reward for a long time. Like, if you're building a business, it might take a while for you guys to really turn profitable. So what's going to be the reward that keeps you going in between, right? The only thing you have is the satisfaction of, hey, I'm doing good stuff. And if you don't give yourself permission to feel it, well then, what the heck's even happening there? Like your brain's not going to get a spike, and you're going to be searching for rewards in other ways, usually less helpful ways, like through, escapism, indulgence, and sometimes, other dumb stuff like people pleasing and other sorts of ways, right? Like if we're not giving ourselves, satisfaction, right? Just giving that mental permission to be like, hey, dude, you did great with this. Then, everything's going to be much harder. Now, the next problem that guys will run into is like, well, what if I'm just like struggling right now? What if I'm having trouble stacking up wins that I'm actually proud of? And this is a good question. And this is something that comes up because, it happens sometimes. Guys will come into a call and it's like, I had a rough week. I screwed up, or I, fell off, my focus or whatever. And they feel like they can't then share a win. But one of the things we really stress is that there are two kinds of wins that really matter. All right. There's the wins of progress, which are pretty obvious. It's like, all right, checking something off, reaching some milestone, doing something good, whatever. Right. Those are great. Always want to celebrate those. But there's another kind of win as well, which is wins of insight. All right. And this is when you learn a lesson. You've extracted a learning experience from it. It's from something. And typically on the bad weeks, these are the ones that are filled with potential insight wins if you're willing to go and grab them. Right. Like if you think about it, it's like if you don't do that, if you don't learn from your mistakes, and if you don't actually embrace that positively, then failure always is going to just be the worst thing, right? You just fail, feel like shit, don't learn anything, and then guess what? You're probably going to fail in the same way again the next time this similar circumstances come up, right? So instead, on those bad weeks or bad days, go in and figure out, well, what can I learn from this? What lesson can I reinforce? What can I learn about my own patterns that would equip me to show up more powerfully in the future? So my biggest recommendation is make it part of your daily routine. At the end of your day, record your wins for that day, right? And at the end of the week, what are the top ones when you look back over your days? Each quarter, I think taking this seriously, it's just going to turn your brain into like a progress-seeking machine. And you're going to like it. You're going to enjoy it. So if you like the sound of this and you like this attitude and you're ready to stop grinding in a system that only punishes and you want to start building one that really reinforces progress, then book a call with us. All right. Inside of Frontline Man, we'll help you build the momentum loop that makes discipline feel good again. All right. And all you got to do is click the link in the description, pick a time, and chat with us. I really look forward to hearing from you. And that's what I have for you guys in this one. See you on the front lines. Ooh, yap.